So we're going to look at this question off to the side using the formula, and I'm also going to show you how you can use your calculator program to solve for it. So for using the formula, you don't have to take any notes right down. It says determine how many monthly investments of $100 would be made into a savings account that pays 6% annual interest, compounded monthly, for a future value to be $100,000. No, we're doing this one. We're doing the one that's the regular one off to the side. So when we're going to the, if this question came up on the exam, they would give you this formula. This formula would be given to you as part of the question. And it says use this to figure this out. So you would have to know that the future value from the words in here, that's your 100,000. Your regular payments are 100 per month. Interest rate is 6% interest, and your interest rate here, and this would be given in the formula too, is the interest rate divided by the number of compound periods. So your interest rate is 6% divided by 12 is 0.05, so that would go in the formula wherever there's interest, and the rest you would plug in. Now here, you need to divide, here you have to solve for n. Where's n? It's in the exponent. So we do your algebra to get everything together. You'd multiply, divide through by 20,000, get your exponent by itself. Then you can take the log of both sides, the same way that you solve logs all the way along. That would allow you to use your exponent law to bring the n in front. And solve it, and you get n is 359.24. So you would need 360 investments to get 100,000 or more. 359, even though that would round down, you wouldn't quite have $100,000 yet. So that's why it's been rounded up to 360. At the top of your page, at the top of page 431, I'd like you to write TVM solver. That was on our calculators that we looked at by pushing your apps button, number 1 on finance, and number 1 to get TVM solver. So on your TVM solver, you have the following things. What we're going to do is define each of these. The n is your number of payments. Your I is your interest rate. And you don't have to put it in as a decimal, so if it's 8%, you just put in 8. PV stands for present value. PMT stands for your payment or your payment amount. FV is the future value. C/Y is how many compound periods there are per year. And this is how many payments you make per year. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use this exact same example that we did and put it into this program to get the exact same answer. Okay? Special note about negatives. We're going to use a negative value anytime that you give away your money to somewhere else. So if you're paying the bank, if you're paying somebody else, you're going to use a negative value. And I'm going to put this idea. When the money comes out of your pocket. And you use a positive value when the money comes into your pocket. So sometimes you get a loan to buy a car. If the bank gives you $17,000, when you would put that in as a present value, you'd put that in as a positive value because the bank just gave you that money. Then all your monthly payments that you pay back to the bank, those would be negative values. So we're going to use a negative value when the money comes out of your pocket. Whenever someone gives you money, you're going to put a positive value in there. So when we were dealing with our mortgages last time, this was the house for $300,000. The present value is positive because the bank has just given you $300,000 because they basically gave you the money to buy your house. Then you notice here the payments are negative because you have to pay the bank back. So that money's coming out of your pocket once a month. So in our question here, we were told that, going back to the top here, our interest rate is 6%. We're making monthly payments of $100. We want the future value to be $100,000. So as far as our calculator goes, we know that our interest rate is 6. At present, there's no money in the account. You're wanting to put $100 away a month. That money is coming out of your pocket and going into the bank, into the savings account. Later, you want to take out $100,000 as a future value. You're making monthly payments, so your payments per year are 12. It said that it was compounded monthly, so that means your compounds per year are 12. We want to know how many payments it would take. So you go up to n, and you go alpha solve, and notice we get exactly the same answer that we got from all the calculations. So the calculator is very friendly that way because you can get the answer right away. Okay? So on your exam, if it doesn't say solve algebraically, if it just says solve, that means you have a choice. You have a choice either to use your graphing calculator to do it, in which case the work that you would show is this and what you solved for. Okay? But I have a feeling that they're going to want an algebraic solution. So make sure that you're careful that you read your question. If it says solve algebraically, then you would need to show all of this stuff that's here. Okay? On your take-home quiz, I have a couple here, and I say you can use TVM solver or the formula, so you get a choice. Okay? So this one off to the side, how many monthly investments of $200? So the work that you would show and I'm going to put all of the values we know in blue. So we're making $200 investments. So your payment is -2, 6% interest, so this will be a 6. Compounded monthly, how many payments are we making? We're making monthly payments, so this would also be 12. We want $100,000. present value, we're starting with nothing. And then as far as showing your work, I like to put a little star beside the one that I'm solving for and an arrow so that I can say, okay, this information is what was given to me, and now in the green, that's what I want to solve for. So again, we go to our calculator. Now the payments per month are $200. We still want $100,000. We can go to N, and again, how to solve for something, push alpha and then enter because the word solve is above the enter button. And we get 251.2. So that would be 51.17, so 252 payments. That is 21 years. So think about how old you are right now. If you can find a bank account that's willing to give you 6% interest, if you start putting away $200 a month right now, in 21 years you go to that bank account, there will be $100,000 in there. How much money will you have actually put in? If you take 252 times 200, you'll only have put in $51,000. But it'll be worth $100,000. So you will have made close to $50,000 just on interest, just by saving. But saving money is hard to do because you walk by Dairy Queen and you go, oh, I could save my money, but ice cream would be so much better. And then you spend it on ice cream. Happy now or happy later, right? So. Okay, so the ones we can do for this are number 3 and 6.